Miss James, and today we're going to read another biography like what we've been learning. So our book is called Wilma Unlimited, and most of the stories we've read have been about boys, but this is a biography about a woman. So before we can read, I have this word in the title, unlimited. So I have the word unlimited. I see un, I know that's a prefix that means not. And then I see limited, I see a little word in there, limit. So I've heard of the word limit like a speed limit. And that tells me how fast I can go. So it holds me back. It doesn't let me go really fast. So if she's not held back, that means I think she's going to do whatever she wants to do. She's going to go far past what everybody thinks. So I'm going to look at my cover first to make a prediction. I see that this looks like a woman who is running. I see something that might look like path, and then I see some grass. So I'm going to use this as clues to help me know what the book's going to be about. So it's called Wilma Unlimited, How Wilma Rudolph Became the World's Fastest Woman. So I think that definitely has to do with running about a woman. So let's see if our prediction is correct. I know that a lot of people who have biographies written about them have to overcome obstacles. Remember we said obstacles like obstacle courses. So that's another thing I'm going to be looking for while I read this book. I'm going to see if Wilma had any obstacles that she had to overcome. No one expected such a tiny girl to have a first birthday. In Clarksville, Tennessee in 1940, life for a baby who weighed just over 4 pounds at birth was sure to be limited. That's the word, but this time it doesn't have un, so that means they think her life isn't going to be everything. But most babies didn't have 19 older brothers and sisters to watch over them. Most babies didn't have a mother who knew home remedies, I don't know that word, but I'm going to keep going, and a father who worked several jobs. Wow. Most babies weren't Wilma Rudolph. So I see in my picture a little girl surrounded by a whole bunch of family. I think they're going to help her out. Wilma did celebrate her first birthday, and everyone noticed that as soon as this girl could walk, she ran or jumped instead. She worried people, though. She was always so small and sickly. If a brother or sister had a cold, she got double pneumonia. If one of them had measles, Wilma got measles too, plus mumps and chickenpox. I don't know all those words. Pneumonia, measles, mumps, chickenpox. But I knew she was sick, so I think that's something that makes you sick. Her mother always nursed her at home. Doctors were a luxury for the Rudolph family. And anyway, only one doctor in Clarksville would treat black people. I think I might be able to make a connection about this, about black people not being able to do everything. Let's see. Just before Wilma turned 5, she got sicker than ever. Her sisters and brothers heaped all the family's blankets on her, trying to keep her warm. During that sickness, Wilma's left leg twisted inward, and she couldn't move it back. Not even Wilma's mother knew what was wrong. Wow, I've never heard of this. The doctor came to see her then. Besides scarlet fever, he said, Wilma had also been stricken with polio. Again, that's something I don't know, but I know this is doing something to her leg. In those days, most children who got polio either died or were permanently crippled. There was no cure. The news spread around Clarksville. Wilma, that lively girl, would never walk again. But Wilma kept moving any way she could. By hopping on one foot. I want to stop right here because I think this is a challenge. If Wilma can't walk, this is going to be an obstacle in her life, right? She's going to have a lot of things that she's going to have to do differently. So maybe she's going to learn a lesson from this. She could get around herself around the house, to the outhouse in the backyard, and even on Sundays to church. Wilma's mother urged her on. Mrs. Rudolph had plenty to do: cooking, cleaning, sewing patterned flour sacks for clothes for her children, now 22 in all. Yet, twice a week, every week, she and Wilma took the bus to the nearest hospital that would treat black patients some 50 miles away in Nashville. That's pretty far. They rode together in the back, the only place blacks were allowed to sit. Doctors and nurses at the hospital helped Wilma do exercises to make her paralyzed legs stronger. At home, Wilma practiced them constantly, even when it hurt. So I see them in the back of the bus. I know another person that we've learned about who knew about how blacks and whites had to be separate. I know two people that we've talked about. We knew Martin Luther King had that, and Nelson Mandela. So that's kind of similar to Wilma. So I bet that's going to be another obstacle. To Wilma, what hurt most was the local school wouldn't let her attend because she couldn't walk. It's another obstacle. Tearful and lonely, she watched her brothers and sisters run off to school each day, leaving her behind. Finally, tired of crying all the time, she decided she had to fight back somehow. I think she's already learned something from this, right? She's a lot stronger. Wilma worked so hard at her exercises that the doctors decided she was ready for a heavy steel brace. Brace? I don't know, but look at my picture. Remember, I always want to use my pictures to help me figure out words. With the brace supporting her leg, she didn't have to hop anymore. School was possible at last. But it wasn't the happy place she had imagined. Her classmates made fun of her brace. During playground games, she could only sit on the sidelines, twitching with impatience. She studied the other kids for hours, memorizing moves, watching the ball zoom through the rim of the bushel basket they used as a hoop. That looks like this. Wilma fought the sadness by doing more leg exercises. Her families always cheered her on, and Wilma did everything she could to keep them from worrying about her. At times, her leg really did seem to be getting stronger. Other times, it just hurt. All right, this is our last page. One Sunday on her way to church, Wilma felt especially good. She and her family had always found strength in their faith, and the church was Wilma's favorite place in the world. Oh, look, without even finishing this page, it looks like she's taking this brace off. So I'm going to make a prediction that I think she's about to change. Everyone she knew would be there, talking and laughing, praying and singing. It would be just the place to try the bravest thing she had ever done. She hung back while people filled the old building. Standing alone, the sound of hymns coloring the air, she unbuckled her heavy brace and set it by the church's front door. Taking a deep breath, she moved one foot in front of the other, her knees trembling violently. She took her mind off her knees by concentrating on taking another breath and then another. So right here I'm going to stop, and we're going to finish this another day. I know that Wilma had obstacles. I know that she had challenges, but she was unlimited because she was not letting any of that stop her. So when you read other biographies, I want you to think about the challenges that they have and how that changes their lives. Bye!